If you're about to enter into a difficult conversation with somebody, something that at one of the companies I work with, we call a get real conversation. If you need to have that kind of candid, transparent discussion in order to change something, to change a situation, to change a relationship so that you can move forward, so you can improve things and make things more successful. If you need to have that kind of conversation, I would ask you to consider that you might need to have two conversations. See, in the old Star Trek, when they were just cruising around, everything was fine. But when they thought there was danger or they were uncertain, the captain would call for shields up. And they'd put a protective shield around the ship. And when you're having a conversation with someone and they feel attacked or threatened somehow or just unsafe, they're probably going to put their shields up. Now, they may come into that conversation because they're frustrated or angry or bitter or hurt. They may come into the conversation with shields up. And if they don't, they may shortly into the conversation put their shields up. But one way or the other, you're likely to be facing a situation where the person you're trying to communicate with has their shields up. And the problem is when the shields are up, they're not receiving your message. Now, I know on Star Trek, technically, you could transmit messages even with shields up. But hold on. I know you're not trying to attack. So there's, in theory, no reason they should have their shields up. But it's not about your intention. It's about how they perceive it. So if they perceive that you're attacking them, or they perceive they're in danger or unsafe somehow, they're going to put their shields up. So before you can have the conversation you want to have, before you can talk about what needs to be different, even if you're planning to say, listen, it was all my fault, here's what I'm going to do differently, here's how I'm going to behave in a way that's going to help us to be more successful, even if it's all about what you've done wrong and you're trying to own it. If they're uncomfortable or unsafe or angry or hurt, they may still have their shields up. So you've got to get those shields down to have whatever conversation you want to have. And chances are it's not all just one way. You're not just be like, oh, it was totally me. You're probably going to also have a, here's what I think you could do differently. Or let's talk about what we each should be doing here. And then let's figure out if we can commit to that and make that work again in the service of moving the ball forward, in making us better, making our organization better, making our relationships stronger, all those things that you're trying to accomplish in this conversation. So it's a two-part conversation because the first step is to get that shield down. See, the other thing you couldn't do when the shields were up, one was be attacked. The other one was transport people. People couldn't board your ship when your shields were up. So in Star Trek, of course, they always had like somebody on the planet and then they were getting attacked in outer space. And so they had to somehow get the shields down for a long enough time to beam the person up off the planet to get them on the ship. Well, if you're the person on the planet or let's say you're on the other ship and they perceive that you're attacking them, but you want to really board the ship because you want to have a face-to-face conversation with them, you want to have this productive conversation, again, you've got to get their shields down so that they don't feel like you're attacking them. So not because you were attacking them, but they just perceived it. But you want to get those shields down so that now you can board. You can metaphorically get with them in person and have this safe conversation. Have the productive conversation you want to have. Now, understand this may be two literally separate conversations. You may need to have the shields down conversation, and it might be so exhausting emotionally, or it might just be too long of a time. It might have taken 60 or 90 or even 120 minutes, 2-hour conversation. That's exhausting. Plus, maybe you only allocated 2 hours for this whole thing. Maybe even only allocated an hour and it took 2 hours. Well, you can't go, hey, now that we've got through that and shields are down, let's just keep going. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe you want to say, hey, this was great. I think we made a ton of progress. I feel like now I can, again, metaphorically board the ship. Your shields are down. Nobody feels like they're getting shot at. Nobody feels unsafe. But let's just call time out here and let's revisit and have this second conversation where I actually transmit the message and we have this communication that's going to move us forward. Let's have that as a second conversation. Let's do that tonight, or let's do that tomorrow or next week, or whatever the appropriate amount of time to pass is. But take it in two parts. Now, maybe you can do that all in one session. Part one, get the shields down, or maybe shields come down pretty quickly and you can get into it. But understand and have in your head, you need to think about this as a two-part issue. When it's a difficult conversation, a get real conversation, you want to first get those shields down and then have the difficult conversation and get the communication improve so that you can get moving forward and get really where you want to take your relationship and where you want to take the situation, where you want to take your company and make things better.